Thank you for joining us for the information meeting about the other side of divorce, breakups that lead to breakthroughs, hosted by and curated by Mardi Winder-Adams. I'm excited to be here to talk about this book because I myself have gone through divorce as well. And boy, was that breakup one that led to multiple breakthroughs. So it's just been a journey of excitement after all of that happened. And I'm Linda Sunshine West, the founder and CEO at Action Takers Publishing. We're the ones who are going to take your story. We're going to proofread and edit it. You're going to just sit back and enjoy the process, become a best-selling author. And that's what we are here to do with you and your story, to get your message out there, to make a greater impact on the planet. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Mardi for Mardi to talk about the concept behind the book. After that, I'm going to share the publishing process, what that looks like, and what your involvement is in that. So, Mardi, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. And I really want to, first of all, thank everybody for listening in, whether you're here live or you're listening to the recording. I know lots of people couldn't make it at this time, but the concept of this book really came from working with my clients. And those of you who know me know that I am a divorce coach. I've been a divorce coach now for God, since 2015. That's kind of been my focus. So going on 10 years now, and I was working as a domestic violence client before, advocate before that. And what I found is that no matter how amicable your divorce is, I mean, I went through a divorce 25, almost 30 years ago. It was not that, there wasn't a huge issue. It wasn't a domestic violence situation. It wasn't anything like that. It was just kind of like we just grew apart and we were no longer compatible. And so even though there was no kids involved, I went through the divorce and I found myself just feeling at some points in time like, what am I doing? Like, should I have spent more time trying to fix this marriage, or trying to rebuild it or salvage it, or whatever you want to say? And I think for women that are going through more challenging divorces where kids are involved and there is emotional, financial, physical, mental abuse, the challenges of getting out of these relationships are huge. And so there's a lot of books out there about how tough it is to get out of these divorces, and those are invaluable books. But what my clients keep saying to me is, I just don't see that there's a light at the end of this tunnel. I don't know how to keep moving forward. Like, should I just give up and just deal with what I've got because it's probably the best ever going to have? And if you've been through a tough divorce, you know that there's that mentality. You've been kind of emotionally beaten down where you just maybe think that that's the only option you have, is to stay in that relationship. And maybe you do for years and years and years till you finally get the courage to make the move and get out. And so whether you're in a good divorce or a bad divorce, that time comes where you're just sitting there and going, like, kind of, pardon my language, but what the hell am I doing and where am I going from here? And so the goal of this book was to fill in that area for women going through divorce, that doesn't focus on all the bad stuff that's going on and how to manipulate the legal system and work out of this financially and strategically, but really on providing that sense of other women have done this before you. Other women have gone through these dark steps that you have to take through the divorce, and they have found the inner courage, the wisdom, the strength, the guidance, the professional development, the personal development to come out of divorce and have this amazing life going forward, even though they had some very difficult moments, times, periods in that divorce. So that's where the inspiration came from, is having a book written by real women to real women about, you have it in you to move forward through this. So the idea behind each chapter is a very brief discussion of kind of your background. I'm serious, like 2 paragraphs. And then the rest of the chapter is, how did you find the inspiration, the motivation, the resources, the education to move you forward to the exceptional woman that you are now? And my guess is most of you are serving women in some capacity. I know for sure Lori is, and I'm guessing Becca is as well. The 2 people that are here on the call with us. But I think it's really important for us to share that with other women and let them know, hey, there's a way out of this, and there is a big light at the end of this tunnel, and you can create the life that you want to live, whether it's better relationship with yourself, with your kids, with your family, change your career, travel the world, um, move into maybe being an entrepreneur, but from being a corporate person, or maybe it is fully retire and enjoy your life on your own terms, or start an organization or become a volunteer. So that's the goal of the book. It's that inspirational aspect that I think is missing in so many books about divorce. And so it's by women for women. And I think that's really important as well.
Bring again. Mardi, thanks for sharing what the book is all about and what we're looking for, these stories of empowerment after the divorce. There's situations that happen, as one of our guests here today shared. There's situations that happen while we're going through the divorce process, or before we make a decision to get a divorce, that there are breakthroughs that are happening before, during, and after. What we want to really share is, for our audience, our readers, is what they can gain by them making that decision too. There's so many people who are sitting on that fence, not really sure what step to take. There's some fear that's holding them back. Maybe it's fear of finances, fear of what's going to happen. How am I going to be on my own? There's so many fears that could potentially be tied into making the decision to take the leap and say, okay, I'm out. I'm by myself and I'll figure it out. And that's what your story is here to do, is to empower them with that information in order to help them to be able to make that decision. So what I'm going to do is I just want to talk a little bit about you writing your own book. And then I'm going to talk about why a collaboration book is really a great first step. So writing your own book, first of all, your own, you're by yourself. You are solo. You don't have the support that we provide at Action Takers Publishing within our collaboration books. We do also help people write their solo books. We do help them with that process. But if you're not working with a publisher, you are literally on your own. One of my clients, I used to run a women's mastermind. I ran it for 6 years. And we got on a call one day, and I asked her, what do you want to accomplish this week? Because that was kind of like how we started. Each call was, what do you want to accomplish this week? And she said, you know what? I wrote my book 20 years ago and I want to finish it. Like, I have just one chapter left to finish. So she was by herself. She didn't have accountability. She didn't have a coach. She didn't have somebody who would keep her accountable to finish that book. So 20 years it sat on her computer. In that session, I said, okay, I'm going to stare at you for the next hour. Can you finish it in an hour? She goes, oh yeah, I can finish it probably in 45 minutes. So I'm going to stare at you for you to finish your book. She finally finished it. And, she had that sense of accomplishment. I finished the book that I started 20 years ago, and then she published it about 2 months later. So the idea here is that, with a solo book, you're doing everything yourself. You're writing all the words. You're finding your own proofreader and editor. You're formatting it into a book. There's a lot of things that happen in the process of writing a book, and you're doing that all by yourself. So I'm going to share 7 reasons to be part of a collaboration book. And these are just 7 of them. There are many, many reasons. Everybody has their own reason for joining a collaboration book. I'm going to share 7 of them. One of them is opportunities. Because you're in a collaboration book, just the word collaboration itself speaks opportunities. There are possibilities. There are things that may come up that you can participate in because you're in a collaboration with other people who are sharing their story of divorce, the breakthroughs that led the breakup that led to their breakthroughs, but the breakthroughs that they got from that. So you never know what kind of opportunities can come from being in a collaboration book of like-minded people. Another is teamwork. We all work together. You're not alone. You're not a silo, all by yourself, sitting there trying to figure it out. You are with teamwork because we have our team that is going to support you, as well as other authors will support you. You'll find that when you're in a book like this, that everybody comes together because they all have the same purpose and drive for what they want to achieve. In addition, Sally Larkin Green, she's our Vice President of Author Development. She will hop on a call with you. If you are stumped, you're not sure where to go, she's going to hop on that call with you to help you to get that next step that you need to take in order to finish your story. Another reason is cross promotion. because again, you're in a book of like-minded people with the same and or similar story, yet very different story. You're all wanting the same thing. You're wanting to get your story out there. You're wanting to make an impact, and you're wanting to help other people see that, you know what, you're not alone. You can do this. Once you're divorced, there is greatness that can happen on the other side. That's what your story is all about. We're all sharing the same kind of story. So we have this opportunity to cross promote with each other. Another one is visibility. So because we're in this book of like-minded people, we have more opportunities for visibility. You might decide to do something with each other. Maybe you like, you know what, let's do a Facebook Live together. Let's get our messages out there and cross promote and becoming more visible. It's through our cross promotions that we automatically become more visible because we're getting into other people's audiences without having to get into their audience because they're inviting us into their audiences. Again, I've mentioned many, many times, like-minded people. It's through the collaboration books. It's a theme. This theme automatically, with everybody saying, I'm in to this theme, this is automatic like-minded people that you will be surrounded with and connected to. The division of labor. This is part of a collaboration book because we as a publishing company, we're going to do all the work. Literally what you do is you write your story. We have it proofread and edited. We work with you on finalizing it. And then once you have approved your chapter, the rest of the labor, the hard work goes to Action Takers Publishing, and we're going to do that work for you until we got to launch day. On launch day, we tell you what exactly needs to be done in order for us to hit the bestseller status. So we're dividing up the labor by you writing your story, and we're doing all the rest of the work. Again, the community, you're in a book of like-minded people that are sharing their story. And so you have the community of all the other authors in the book, as well as the camaraderie, because we're getting behind each other. We're cheering each other on, that we want success for each other, because this is at Action Takers Publishing. One of the things that's really important to us is creating a positive, uplifting, supportive environment. This is very important to us. If you're not a supportive person, we're not looking for that type of person in our community. We don't want the community to be tainted. We want the positive people in our lives, and that's who we surround ourselves with. A little bit about myself. I ran away at 5 years old. I was gone for an entire week. I ran away because I was in a very volatile, abusive household, and I decided that that was not the place I wanted to live. And so I'm just going to run away. And I just went to the neighbor's house, so I was in a safe environment. But something happened during that week. My mom didn't come to get me, and nobody else came to get me. What I didn't know is my mom knew where I was, but I didn't know she knew where I was. So I thought I was abandoned. She doesn't love me. She didn't come to get me because nobody wants me around. And I lived my life that way, believing in that. What ended up happening is after a week, my mom called the neighbor and she said, you can send Linda home now. She's been gone long enough. And so I came home and I became riddled with fears. My dad's abuse would control the way I would live my life. I became a people pleaser, and I just had so many fears. Now my voice became stifled. I decided at that time that I was just going to sit in a corner, not speak up, never share my voice, never talk about anything that I thought, because I might make somebody mad or they may not like me. So I literally walked around. This picture of me, I was in band. I played flute and piccolo. I was in marching band. And I literally walked around with my head bent down like this until I was 51 years old. I walked around looking at the ground when I would walk. I would never meet eyes with somebody, because if I met your eyes, I got scared that you could see me. So I would quickly just jart my face away and not look at you. And then at 51, everything changed. At 51, I decided to do something a little bit crazy that, some people might see it as crazy, but it was life-changing for me. I decided to break through one fear every single day for an entire year. This completely transformed my life. Every single thing I'm doing today, every single thing with the exception of my current husband. I am in a happy marriage. We've been married for 36 years and it's been wonderful. But after that divorce, like, everything shifted for me. But breaking through those fears every single day was astronomical in my growth as a human being and how I show up. So after that, while I was breaking through those fears every day, I ended up meeting a mentor, and his name is Greg Reed. He was putting together a book called Footsteps of the Fearless. It was a collaboration book, a book where I would just write one chapter in that book. And he invited me to be in the book because I was breaking through a fear every day. He said, this would be a great book for you to be part in. And I went ahead and joined that book. I'm so glad I did. Even though I was scared to do it, I did it. I said yes to it. And that was the start of all the doors being opened. That was the start of it, that collaboration book. Well, after I wrote the book and after I broke through those fears every day for a year, Greg looked at me and he said, hey, you broke through a fear every day this year. What are you going to do about it? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, you need to write a book about it. So I ended up writing a book called The Year of Fears. I wrote that book. It took me a year and a half. I was by myself writing the book. It took me a year and a half to write it and publish it, but I finally got it out there. And then after that, I said, I was in a book. I wrote a book. What's my next natural state of progression? I'm going to follow in the footsteps of my mentor, and I'm going to put together my own collaboration book. So I reached out to some people that I had met on my journey through this collaboration process. The founder of UGG Boots, the inventor of the credit card magnetic strip, and the creator of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I said, hey guys, I'm thinking of writing a book called 13 Lessons, a Momentum, 13 Lessons from Action Takers Who Changed the World. Will you be in my book? All three of them said, yes, just tell me what I need to do. And I was like, oh no, I have to really do it now because I made a commitment to them, which was good. I didn't know how smart that was at the time because it was just kind of like an accident. But I'm so glad that I did that because that was that catalyst for me putting together my own collaboration book. So I reached out to a gentleman. I didn't know him, but I heard of him, the CEO of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, the Think and Grow Rich, Entrepreneur's Bible. And I said, hey, Don, I'm writing a book called Momentum. Will you write the foreword? He didn't know me from Adam, but he said, when you're done writing it, send me the manuscript and I will write the foreword for you. So that's Don Green holding the Momentum book. And it was just such an honor to have somebody like him write the foreword in our book. And all I did is I asked him. That was it. Nothing special. I just asked him if he would do it, and he did. And so from there, I was like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I published, the Momentum book, and it became a #1 international best-selling book. It took about 8 hours for that book to become #1 international best-selling. After that, I said, that was so much fun. I'm going to do it again. So I came up with 2 book titles, The Fearless Entrepreneurs and Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. Put those 2 books together. And Sally Larkin Green, who is now our Vice President of Author Development, she joined in both of those books. You can see her name on the Invincible Forevermore book. She joined in both of those books and noticed during the journey that I was a little bit stressed out and said, hey, would you like some help? Because at this point, I was doing these books by myself, all by myself, everything, all by myself. And so I was like, yeah, I could use some help. And she offered to help. I accepted her help, but I had trust issues at that time. My trust issues were lingering from my first marriage. Still, after 30 something years, those trust issues were lingering. And so I was like, okay, Sally, I'll give you one thing. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if this thing never gets done, that's okay, because I don't know if I can trust her to do it. Well, she did it. And then she came back and said, here you go. Is there anything else you need help with? And then she kept with that pattern and helped me to realize that I had trust issues and I needed to break through those. Another breakthrough that came many, many years after my divorce. And so through that process, I learned that I could trust Sally. And so now she's part of our team. She's our vice president of the company at Action Takers Publishing. Now we have a team. It's not just me. It's not just me and Sally. There's 7 of us on the team. All of that then led to these books and more, because we've published many more books since that time. But in the last 36 months, we have published 36 #1 international best-selling books, which have created 433 #1 international best-selling authors. And we're not done. Like, we're going to just keep on going. So with all this process, I discovered that, speaking and sharing my story has value. And I myself wanted to give other people that opportunity to share their story as well. because it's when we share our stories that we make our greatest connections with people. It's when we share our stories that we're able to inspire and motivate people to take action so that they will live the life that they truly want to live. So one thing I want you to ask yourself right now is, what's my goal? You don't have to answer me. This is just for yourself. And I'm asking, like, what's your goal in relation to becoming an author? What is my goal? Why do I want to do this? And then next, what's stopping me from doing this? You might not know where to start. You might not know what story to tell. Maybe you have many stories and you're not sure which is the best story for me to tell. This is where we come in. This is where Sally comes in. She hops on a call with you to help you realize which story is going to be the most impactful story in the book. So what's stopping you? And then what do you need to do to hit that goal? And maybe what you need to do today is you need to say, yes, you know what? I want to share my story in a collaboration book where I write only one chapter. Maybe that's the step that you need to take. I don't know. Only you can answer that. So you can get started today. And I want to share with you just like, this is what you get when working with Action Takers Publishing. First of all, as I mentioned, you write only one chapter. This particular book is 3,000 words. 3,000 words typed is about 4.5 to 5.5 pages long. So it's 3,000 words, plus you get a 225 word bio. And then Sally is there to help you if it's something that you would like help with. Here's Stephanie. She says, you made it easy and a pleasure. And then professional writing help. Sally is here again to help you to get through any writer's block that you may have. Are you feeling stumped? She's here to help you with that. She does group sessions with people, as well as if you need that specialized help, she'll hop on a one-on-one call with you to help you through that process there. Here, Connie says, your step-by-step online outline gave me more confidence that I can indeed do this. And she did write 2 books with us, 2 collaborative books, and she became a #1 international best-selling author. After you've written your chapter, you submit it. We have a form you fill out. That form then goes through our processes, and we do professional editing, and we're going to then send it back to you, asking you for approval and or additional edits. This is one thing that's really important to us at Action Takers Publishing is we believe in energy. Your energy in the book must be positive energy. So we will not publish your chapter until you have approved it. I've been in other people's collaboration books that don't follow this, and there are oftentimes people who are not happy with the results that they got from their chapter. And so it creates this negativity within the book. And this is why it's important for you to approve your chapter. So with that, Whitney says, your editing team made it better. And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in, is making your story, just making it shine even brighter. We have marketing power behind us, is that we have done for you marketing materials that we create. And here we have Brian and Julie. They said, I absolutely love the marketing. I get better every time. Every time she shares her story, she gets used to it and it gets better and better. And here are some examples of a few of the marketing materials that we've created. And then community. I mentioned community as part of the collaboration book process. You're going to gain access to our community of authors, not just within this book, but also all of the authors that we have already published. We host twice a month a Meet the Authors and Publishers session. And this is opportunity for you to connect with more people. And as Debbie says here, thank you for the support, the opportunity, and the hard work that you do to bring us all together to make this happen. The visibility. You're going to invest in visibility of your personal brand and your message, your opportunity to get your story out there about the breakthroughs that you've had after your divorce. And this is an opportunity for you to connect with other people who are going through that kind of situation. And then also we provide interview opportunities. Maybe you want to get in front of some different audiences to share your story, your message. This is the opportunity for you to do that. And you'll have the book as a catalyst in order to get in front of those people. So we provide opportunities for you to be interviewed on our platform as well as other people's platforms. And Marty's going to share the opportunities that she has too when we get to the end here. So Sharon Wallen, she's been in 3 of our books so far. And she says, I enjoyed an uplifting and inspiring podcast interview with Nasira R. Ahmed. I enjoyed an enlightening interaction. And then credibility. You will become a best-selling author. This is guaranteed. you'll become an Amazon #1 bestselling author. Actually, I should put #1 there because you will become a #1 bestselling author guaranteed. What we're shooting for is #1 international, but we do guarantee that we will get that #1 bestseller status. And again, you become that bestselling author, and these are examples of some of the books that we have published so far. So are you ready to publish your story and inspire others? If you are, you can go to actiontakerspublishing.com/divorce author. And if you want us to do all the work for you, just go to that website and we're going to be able to help you with that. So just a quick recap. Your chapter is up to 3,000 words. You also get 225 words for a bio. We are going to assist you with writing your chapter. Also, we have done for you marketing materials and content, literally making it easy for you to copy and paste. We want to make this as easy as possible for you to get the message out there. There's those visibility opportunities through interviews and the meetings that we host twice a month, and then connections and collaborations. And okay, so here we go. You can get started today for as low as $800 plus 2 payments of $800, or you can pay in full for $2,000 and save $400. Again, it's at actiontakerspublishing.com/divorce author. And I will drop the link to that in the chat there. And I'm going to bring Mardi back up to share her bonuses that she's offering for joining this book. Mardi, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Linda. So I'm going to be really quick because I'm really aware of the time here. There's several bonuses I want to let people know about. The first one is I am hosting a large summit on April 16th of next year. Everybody that has a chapter will be a featured speaker and promoted as an author at that event. So that is, I think that's going to be a big one because I've already got over 100 people that have applied. I haven't even put this out, and I've got 100 people that have applied to be on that summit. So I think it's going to be a fairly big one. Yeah, and I'm having a professional group manage that summit for me. So it's not Marty on her Zoom recorder doing this summit. It's I'm working with an a company that's doing that. There is you will do a live, well, it won't be live, but it will be pre-recorded, but it will go on to YouTube and Facebook, an interview with me that's about 20 to 30 minutes. You will be part of a panel on a podcast with a couple of other experts in the book that have similar stories. So we're going to look at how to structure those. And you will also have the opportunity, if you have any kind of course, training, or service that you provide, you can record a 20-minute presentation and I will upload that to my membership site, and you will then have affiliate opportunities. Everybody that's in the chapter in the book becomes an affiliate of mine. So any clients that come to me through the book based on your chapter or any work that you do, any promotion stuff, you get a 20% coaching referral, which depending on which package people take can be anywhere between $1,800 and $1,400, between $800 and $1,400. Sorry about that. I'm trying to think what else there is. There's the summit, there's the podcast, there's the YouTube, and there's the program that will go up on my website. You'll also be interviewed by Linda. And I will let you know that right now, of the authors we already have committed, we're over halfway full with the book right now. And there are 4 people that also have podcasts talking about divorce, personal growth, mental health issues. So I know that there is a big spin-off potential here for other podcasts. These people also have stages and they have events that they host throughout the year. So I think there's lots of potential. I just want to throw in here, I am publishing my own solo book. It's going to be coming out October 8th. It is a divorce, how to prepare for divorce for women. It is so stressful. I cannot tell you. All I had done was collaborative books through Linda. I've been in 4 of her books, and I just assumed that doing my own book would be kind of the same thing. It is not. I have proofread that book so many times, it's driving me crazy, and it takes a long time to proofread 125 pages. So definitely, I have received, I've mentioned this before, of being in the 3 books with Linda. I have been on now over 40 podcasts. I have had spoke on 7 stages because of it, and I've probably got 8 to 10 clients out of my collaborative books with Linda. So just want to throw that in there. And when you do your bio, you're also able to put a lead magnet in there, Linda, right? So you can continue, this can be a continual list building opportunity for the authors in the book. And the book will become part of the welcome package for all of my clients. So it's going to be something that's going to be going out there. And as an author, I'm going to let Linda, can you just talk about really quickly about what people can do with their chapter? Because I don't own their chapter. You don't own their chapter. So.
Right. Yeah, thank you for that. I forgot to mention that in the slides there, is that your story is your story. So one thing that we do at Action Takers Publishing is we will have copyright over the book, just because somebody has to have copyright over the book itself. But after the book has launched and it's hit that bestseller status, we give you a PDF copy of the entire book to use however you want, because we want our authors to be able to use that as a marketing tool. And we also know that by having our authors have an opportunity to give out the whole book, that you're going to get in the hands of other people that you might not otherwise get into. If your story will get into other people's hands as well. And so in addition to that, like your story, you can use it however you want. We're not going to hold your story hostage. You can do whatever you want with it. So that's an important piece for us, that again, that we don't hold you from sharing your story. And I say that because there are some other collaborative book projects where you cannot share your story, the story that you've put in that book, you can't share it anywhere else. So that was an important piece to me, is to let people be able to share their story wherever they want.
And I was going to mention too, Linda, that if you are a speaker or that's something you're interested in doing, you can buy copies of the book at the author's price, which will be like half of the retail price. And then you can sell them at events as a co-author as a best-selling co-author, and you keep whatever the profit is that you make from those books. So you buy them at the author's level, and then you can sell them on your website, on an e-store you have, or whatever you want to do with them. Once you buy them, they're yours to do with whatever you want. So I think that's also nice, because there's no worry about royalty sharing or who owns what or whatever. That's right. Just and that's a really unique thing with Action Takers Publishing, because I have been in another collaborative book that I can't touch it now. Like, I can't sell it. I don't own the chapter. I kind of very early in the game and didn't understand that there was the options to do it any other way. So that's one of the reasons I work with Action Takers Publishing, is because they're so author friendly.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're friendly too. Okay. And then any questions for us? So thank you so much for attending the presentation. I appreciate that. I'm going to stop the recording now. So if you're watching the recording and you have any questions, please reach out to me. My email address is Linda, Lynda, @actiontakerspublishing.com.